Hi, I'm Jasmine, the creator's tax strategist. Preparing for tax season is not only a nightmare for me and my office, it's probably a nightmare for you too. And it really doesn't have to be. In this video, I'm going to share some useful tips with you on how you can prepare for a stress-free tax season. So I have 4 tips for you on how you can prepare for a stress-free tax season. The first one is going to be to make sure that you have good records. If you are a self-employed person, entrepreneur, content creator, business owner, all of those things mean that you have the capacity to deduct expenses against your income before you determine how much of your income you have to pay taxes on. So for that reason, in order to be best prepared for tax season, you want to go into tax season already knowing what your income and expenses were for the entire prior year that you're now filing taxes for. So most important, number 1 is financials. Have record keeping and know that that record keeping is accurate based off of your bank statements and based off of receipts and documents that you've kept to substantiate those expenses and record keeping that you've done. Number 2, and my most favorite because it helps you avoid penalties and interest, are estimated quarterly taxes. In order for you to accurately and effectively and efficiently prepare for tax season, I would suggest that on a quarterly basis, the prior year, you have already accounted for your estimated quarterly taxes. That really piggybacks off of number 1, because if you have number 1, which is good record keeping and financials, then getting number 2, which is your estimated quarterly tax payments, is really simple. You just have to take your quarterly financials and assess your tax liability of those to send the IRS and state agency an estimated quarterly tax payment. Number 3, I would say that it's really important that you are reviewing your financials. This really piggybacks off of number 1 and number 2, and I've intentionally designed this video that way because I want you to know that preparing for tax season or succeeding in tax season is not a tax season game. It's the year before the tax season we're talking about game. So if you were having good record keeping and financials, which was allowing you to be prepared for estimated quarterly taxes, that means you did the third thing on my list here, which is that you reviewed your quarterly financials in order to make sure that the income and expenses are accurate, in order to make sure that you submitted estimated quarterly taxes, and in order to just make sure that when you come up on tax season, you're not surprised by how much your total income and expenses were because you were reviewing them on a quarterly basis, not only to assess the value and stability of your business, but also to know your tax liability for that quarter and to just have an overall good health assessment of where your business stands. Finally, I would say preparing for tax season, of course, requires that you gather the proper documents that you need for tax season. Right after Christmas time ends and we turn into the new year, companies have until January 31st to give you your W-2s and 1099s. Most people have to wait during that time in order to get their W-2s and 1099s and maybe their investment reports and so on and so forth from different agencies and taxing departments that they need income documents from. However, you can also be proactive to make sure that you are maintaining some of those records throughout the year. So when you file estimated quarterly tax payments, keep confirmations of the estimated quarterly tax payments you made so that at tax time, you can easily give those documents to your accountant along with the W-2s and the 1099s and so on and so forth that you receive during that first month of January in preparation for going to file your taxes. All right, so I think you've gathered by now that succeeding during tax season and in the preparation and filing of your tax season really requires that you were proactive the year before. So the simple tips I have for preparing for tax season are going to be that you maintain good records, you have tracking of your estimated quarterly taxes, you review your financials, and that you gather all of your end of year documents for tax preparation. If you're somebody who has an actual I pay too much taxes issue, then you are going to need tax planning and advisory services, which really are a lot of the components of the 4 tips that I shared with you, however, on a much larger scale. If you like this video and you feel like you got some good value out of it, I would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next one.